Are you a rideshare driver who needs extra cash? Meet Wallet. We're a cash advance company trusted by over 90,000 drivers. We help drivers who need cash advances for paying insurance, vehicle maintenance repairs, gas money, and any of your business-related endeavors. We have an extremely fast application process, allowing you to have your money in 24 hours. It's fast, no impact on your credit score, and no credit checks. We approve your application based on cash flow from your rideshare business. Join Wallet today and never worry about being strapped for cash again.
Problem is when some drivers get deactivated, then it'll help loosen the supply. But what happens when you get a really weird deactivation story?
You send it to Surge.
You send it to Surge, and we'll take it from there. But yeah, I read this when you sent this to me yesterday. I read this and I'm like, what the hell?
All right, read it again.
What is going on here?
I read it like 12 times already. Read it again.
Oh my God.
Okay, you want me to just talk about it instead of reading?
Either or, it doesn't matter. It's up to you.
All right, do we have time? We have time a little bit, right? Okay, yeah, go. Okay, I'll just talk about this for a couple of minutes and then he'll read it because in his own words. This is the driver's own words. I conceal his name, obviously. So this is a San Diego Lyft driver. He's doing a trip. He's done like 5,000 trips already. 5-star driver as usual, 6 years. And he picks up this girl at night. The girl is very distraught and gets in the car. Shit's going sideways right away. You know, she's becoming belligerent. She's crying. She's upset. All this good stuff. And then the guy goes, man, I wish this was my last trip, you know, whatever. So finishes the trip.
Little did he know.
Little he knew that the girl gets out of the car and literally within like half hour, he gets a notification from Lyft saying that your account has been deactivated. And the guy, of course, hits his head to the walls, goes through the support, and support safety line comes back to him. And, you know, after a couple of days, they did their so-called investigation, David, if you're watching, and said, yep, you're permanently deactivated. I'm going like, okay, this is going some places. And then, long story short.
Well, hold on. Yeah. Before we move on, what was the problem that the passenger had mentioned to the driver that made them get...
That's a good point. Very good point, Chris. So the passenger, the girl who was upset, complained about the driver to Lyft, saying that she was physically removed and she had medical bills from the car because of that. Obviously, the guy goes, I said, first thing I asked him was, do you have dash cam footage? He goes, no. I go, well, so much for that. Mm-hmm. Yep. And then he goes, what can I do now? I'm going like, not much you can do. This happened, by the way, people. This happened December of last year, December 2022. Okay. And then he's deactivated, but he's doing Doordash and Uber Eats and Uber, which is, we always say, keep your options open. Okay. And long story short, about 9 months later, September of this year, he's like browsing on Facebook and he remembered the name of the girl. The girl had a very peculiar name that it was in his head because he knew it was because of this passenger that he got deactivated. And obviously he didn't do anything like what the girl, you know, said, that she was removed physically from the car, all that stuff. And he notices her name on a Facebook group and contacts her, DMs her, or however you do it on Facebook, because I don't have Facebook. The girl, I mean this is a true story, people, so you guys know. I talked to the driver 2 times already, and what you guys will see next will blow you away. The girl says, I'm very sorry. I had a huge fight with my boyfriend. We had just broke up. I was distraught. Yes, I did tell Lyft that you did those things, but you didn't do any of it. I feel very bad. I'm glad you found me. I don't mind meeting you and calling Lyft in front of you, telling them that I fraudulently had you fired. The guy goes, sure, we can meet, but, anyway, they meet. The girl in front of the driver calls Lyft support line because she's still a Lyft passenger, and tells that I was on this trip 9 months ago and I said this, but none of it was true. And of course, Lyft does their investigation. Don't believe the passenger 9 months later and send the guy back saying, that you're still deactivated. No good. So now the guy goes, the driver has this girl write an affidavit, or basically he takes her to a notary. He has her write a confession saying that I did not say anything. Here it is with the notarized paperwork. He had her sign a statement, and that's the guy's numbers on the right. We concealed all the names, obviously, saying that she lied basically about it, and there's a confession right there, notarized by a notary, public notary. Then the guy has no way of getting in touch with Lyft because his app is turned off. He goes onto Twitter, Ask Lyft, uploads these documents, and then nothing has come back from Lyft. So, David, if you're watching, this is a deactivation story of deactivation stories. This guy could write a book. So the guy's still deactivated. I don't think he should be. Now, I'm not sure if the girl figured out by now that this guy literally can sue her, probably, with all this written confession and notarized stuff in civil court. But the girl did it anyway. She's young. She doesn't know probably what she is doing. She didn't know what she was doing when she had this guy fired, and she didn't know what she was doing when she agreed to meet with this guy and signed this. So hopefully Lyft is watching this and you guys can do justice and put this guy back on, because there's a written confession here that the girl lied. It was a fraudulent act on the passenger side. And what do you say about this, Chris? How did you think when I sent you this? I thought we had like some good stories, but I think this tops the cake right there.
When I was reading through this, I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So I'm like, what the first thing I was thinking is like, where's the dash camera? And then he said, like, in the middle of the page before, it says like, I don't have a dash camera. I know what you're thinking, and I agree with you. Get a dash camera, bro. If you're still doing DoorDash and Uber, get a dash camera. You need it. And then hopefully, if you can get it back on the Lyft platform, you definitely need it. We recommend display ride dash camera. This is perfect for you. But yeah, when I saw that, and I'm like, oh great. So that just goes to show you, when he was able to contact her and then they got together, that just kind of blew me away, thinking like that whole thing, where she actually like decided to own up to her problem, and come out about it. But like, still, you don't do that to somebody else. Like, you said, yeah, that could open her up for a lawsuit, especially with this. I don't know if I don't get that from this particular story that he wrote, if that's going to be the case that he goes down. But this is something crazy. And then this is where arbitration comes in, especially because now you're meeting in front of a mediator or an arbitrator, and they're going to have to look at it. Lyft is going to have to be there to present. And if you had this particular individual, the rider, coming to there, or even just the signed affidavit of that, that's notarized, saying, yeah, I made it up. They have no recourse to be able to say, oh, I'm sorry, it's still true. You're deactivated. Like, that doesn't make sense to me on how that could continue on. When it comes down to him not getting back onto the platform because of this, I think this is just an issue with support again, where support is not in the country, or they're not putting it to the correct place. So they're just taking it, and then that's that, and or they don't know what to do with it. And I think that's the biggest problem when it comes to support, and why there was no push in terms of getting him back on the platform after that sort of letter had been there.
Yeah, and the other thing is, last week actually, somebody mentioned the same thing. If this is not a case of guilty until you can prove yourself innocent, well, David, and whoever I know, people every week are watching at Lyft now. Whoever's watching this guy needs to be back on the platform. And Which one is better? This guy turning around and creating lawsuits and taking this to the media, and then now we're talking about it. And what's the point of this, right? You guys have to do a better job, both companies, better job of vetting these passengers when they put in a line saying that he physically removed me out of the car. Do the investigation better. Well, how about this investigation, Chris? I wasn't going to talk about this, but let's talk about this real quick. There was a cat that was lost this weekend. And somehow my good old buddy Tony here in LA, Tony, got me involved on Twitter. He said, Serge knows all the big wigs at Lyft. Get in touch to the owner with Serge. He can help you. I'm going like, how am I getting involved in this at all now? So this guy, this poor owner, was taking his cat to the vet, and the cat's name is Tux. And he got to the vet. The cat was in a cat carrier, pretty big cat. The guy got out of the passenger side, was coming around to the driver's side back door. The driver took off with the cat in the car. And the whole world went nuts. I know there are some cat lovers in the chat, and also a whole bunch of cat lovers on Twitter, because when the guy posted this, it got 8.5 million views. Okay? This guy went viral. And cat, Risha responded to my tweet saying that, I said long shot. That's all I said. Why am I even getting involved in this? I'm not even sure. I like cats, don't get me wrong. But I'm going like, why on a Sunday I'm getting involved? Anyway, Risha got involved. Risha said, we apologize for the support message. We should have done a lot better. I got, exactly, David. You should have done a lot better. Because support sent the cat owner who took off. The driver took off with the cat. I'm going like, why would you do that? Well, don't you even look behind you? I mean, you have a huge ass box.
Yeah, right.
And long story short, David got involved. They hired private investigators, no joke. They scoured the area. A day later, they found the cat a mile from the original drop-off area. But what the owner of the cat got is that, oh yeah, we're very sorry. You have to pay $20 to the driver when he returns your item. I'm going like, that's support? What that bullshit is that? So, however, my thing was like, I'm kind of thinking, and I'm like, I don't want to tweet this, but I'd say it here in my community, is this thing got 8.5 million views, and the cat was found, and Lyft decided to pay for all the cat's vet bills. Okay. And cat is healthy and happy back with the owner. However, this guy, the driver, who drove off with the cat, and I mean, you got to be like dense to not see a cat box in your back seat. And if you did one trip after that, the next passenger that got in said, what the hell is this? There's a cat here, buddy. So you should have returned, called the passenger back and whatever. But this driver said, there is nothing in my car. He denied it. He probably put the cat on the sidewalk and the cat was gone. And people were going berserk. So I was wondering, for 8.5 million views and people going mad about a cat, I wish we had 10% of that attention on every time a driver got killed and shot while doing rideshare, right? I'm saying, look, animals are part of family. I get it. I get all that. How is it that a human getting shot and killed by a jackass in the car doing rideshare by their passenger is not getting this much play when I tweet it, but a cat does? Well, I guess it is what it is, right? So, I'm like kind of torn, but I'm glad Tux is back with the owner. Lyft decided to pay. I'm sure everything is good. I'm glad Tux is back. And Tony, don't ever get me involved again. But yeah, Tux is back.
Yeah. So that would be a rightful termination and deactivation.
100%. I even said it on Twitter. This guy should be booted right there.
Right, 100%. And if he's still driving, he should be off the platform. No doubt about it.
He actually could get arrested for this. Literally, he could.
Yep.
Because stole the guy's cat. How the F do you not see a cat box in your backseat, bro? All right.
Yeah, and I mean the size of it's pretty big. So you can't miss it. I mean, literally, when you're saying goodbye to the passenger, you're turning around. And you should be looking just to make sure that there's nothing in the back seat of your car.
There you go.
Because then it avoids you from having to go back and drop something off.
Well,
altogether. And it's like,
when the passenger is coming in the car, I always turn around and say hello, whatever, right? To see what they look like, because I don't know what they look like on the app. You know what I mean? Because they come from behind you, they get in the car. I always want to make sure, right? Okay, that's one. The guy's coming in with the freaking thing, huge thing there, right? One. Two, here's another advice for newbies and veterans. What do you do, Chris, when you drop somebody off? Do you just take off like Mario Andretti? No. You pull over, turn the lights on if it's at night, check inside the car, because you really, really don't want anything left behind in your car, because it's a headache to return. After every trip, you stop the car, you look around, front seat, back seat, and then you go. Takes 30 seconds and create all these headaches are gone. But this jackass drove off with the cat. The guy through app support, by the way, had conversation with this guy. He got a hold of the driver through app support and said, I'll pay you whatever you want. Just bring my cat back. The guy goes, there was no cat in the back. I'm like, you dumber than dumb, bro. So that one bad apple now gives all of us a bad look for sure. In fact, we'll show it next week in the funnies, Chris. There was a lady, our thumbnail for Risher's interview, me, you, and Risher for YouTube, right? This woman said cat thieves to us on the bottom. Tweeted it.
Okay.
So we're cat thieves now. So you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Isn't that could be defamation?
Well, I took care of it. Don't worry.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure you did. You got to send me the link for that so I can see that.
Yeah, I'll send you the link. Yeah, cat thieves.
Sheldon, thank you for the membership.
Thank you. There you go.
Yeah, no, I mean, when it comes down to it, that particular driver that had done nothing wrong and the passenger that was an asshole, granted, she owned up to it, but had to be pushed in order to do that. Hopefully he's back on the platform. He should be back on the platform. And, something like that where a cat gets stolen, well, then at that point, I think that driver needs to be. So let's just do a little flip-flop. Deactivate the one, reactivate the other. I think that's pretty simple and easy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No brainer. Yeah.
All right. Thanks for watching. That short little clip was from our live stream, Show Me the Money Club with Sergio and myself, Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Make sure you subscribe, turn on all notifications so you'll be notified when we go live, as well as all of our awesome content. Make sure to check out this video right here, which will take you to the entire live stream, or check out this video right there. All right, drive smart, everyone.